So my name is Carlos Walker, and this is Art and Hustle Black Books Matter. Today we got Mr. Marvin Mess. How you doing, Mr. Marvin?
How you doing? That's Marvin, MES Marvin. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Working hard to do what I do.
Okay. Love to hear that. If you will, before we start, share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Marvin. I'm the CEO of MES Marvin's Education Services. We provide schools to books, where we also provide substitute school books to schools, and we also provide substitute teachers and staffing. And so we are really big on hiring, picking people up, and helping them navigate through and matriculate throughout the school system.
Okay. Um, you have also wrote how many books?
Um, Let's see. It's about three. I believe it's about three books now. Four
Okay.
books actually. Yeah, four
So
books,
what you
and
do?
we released two flashcards, ABC flashcards for children. We released a coloring book. I can show you here. We released the ABC coloring book to kind of pair. And if you notice, we try to portray, positive Black images. The books are for everyone, but we want to absolutely portray those images in a lot of the urban schools.
It's very what they say representation matters.
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does.
Look, if you can see what I learned just through my journey, if you can see it and especially see it within your parameters, you can actually know that you can become.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why representation matters. Of course, an equal opportunity employer. We employ everybody. We want everybody to see themselves in the classroom. You know what I mean? And our schools are diverse. And so we try to hire the right kind of people, and we just try to help students in those early years.
Okay, so we're gonna start this off. If you will, share a little bit about your background, your
My
upbringing.
background.
Yeah,
Okay.
just so that we'll know how you came to this work, what inspired you in the work, whether it was in your past or whether it just led up to a thought.
Yeah. So my name is Marvin. I'm from Frankfurt. I have an interesting upbringing. Coming up from as an '80s baby. Share some of the struggles so many have. But it really started my background. I was point to my great grandfather who was a singer with the Intruders, and so that's my legacy. He got a few hits with the Sound of Philadelphia and Kenny Gamble and Huff, Philadelphia International Records, and he was an artist, and he really set the foundation for my family, and my dad. He was the kid of an artist, and so that could be tough at times. You know what I mean? So we struggled, but I was able to join this program called Freedom School, and that's when everything changed. For me, um, it was supposed to be just like a summer job as a high school assistant, but I mean, we flew down to Alex Haley Farm, which is, I think, a great spiritual place, because in this particular industry, you have to have a good spirit, and I always say teaching is a lifestyle, and so you have to come to it with a clean spirit. And I had to learn that as a young teacher too. But rewind, once I went to Freedom Schools, they flew me down to Haley Farm from Phil. I'm originally from Philadelphia. That's my
Okay.
background, born and raised. You know what I'm saying? 215 all day.
To their
But
brotherly love.
yeah. So Freedom School was everything. I met Marion Ray Edelman. Marion Ray Edelman is the first woman to pass the bar in Mississippi,
Mhm.
the first black woman. She took Bobby Kennedy down to Mississippi to show him the conditions. And out of that you get the SNAP program. You get food stamps. After that, she started the Children's Defense Fund. And just if I rewind just a little bit, Marion Wright Edelman is also the person that was planning the Poor People's Campaign uh, march with Dr. King before he passed away.
Mm.
So this historical woman from the Children's Defense Fund, they showed us how to run the program, how to create curriculum. You know what I'm saying? So that's the inspiration. I was trained from a kid, 15 years old, high school assistant, then became a college intern. And then after that, I would go there every summer. It was my summer job. It was a training program and on Alex Haley's farm. And we know who Alex Haley is. And for the listeners that don't, I can tell you who Alex Haley is. And so this is the tradition that I'm coming from. So Marion Wright Edelman's with that connection, she purchased Alex Haley's estate, beautiful farm, properties. This is a beautiful land. Rick Ross, I've been to the promised land, but this is beautiful as well. We don't know about this and how much income was produced from content from the movie Roots and the property and how beautiful and his loving staff. And so Marion Wright Edelman started the Children's Defense Fund, and we would travel there to teach a model of or learn a model of the summer program, the curriculum. So that was the program I came from. But I became the teacher. I became what's called an Ella Baker trainer. You see the names they're using, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with this historical woman in this program and the people that she placed in to run it, to lead it, she was more so the representation and the visionary, as as I became a teacher, I learned again how to create my own curriculum. And once I graduated from the program, because it was a 4-year program, I became a teacher. And I was hired by Dr. Aisha Imani, who created a model of the Freedom School, but as a K to 12 model, because that was Marian Wright's original vision. That was her original vision to have these faith-based schools and these freedom schools that was about social justice, service learning, things of that nature. And so I became a teacher. But during that time, I didn't see representation in the classroom. It was a lot of me coloring charts and coloring ABC charts. And I said, well, where's our ABC chart? Well, I'll be dropping that soon. And so that's how we came up with the ABC flashcards. We released a copy in 2016, and as technology improved, we improved with our, digital images. As you can see, this is I don't know if I'm in front of the camera.
There we
This is
go.
a much clearer copy in which the kids can, learn. But it was that pedagogy that I received in Freedom Schools and then at Sankofa Freedom Academy. I went on to work at a lot of the Afrocentric charter schools. Kepler Charter School was my first one. Um, then in 2013, I started the business called MES, and it forever changed my life.
All right. So you ended up age of 15, went to camp, ended up learning the craft of being a teacher, the craft of not just being a teacher, but being educator.
Mm.
From there, you became a teacher.
It was more
And
like a servant. Yeah, I became a teacher, but it was more like a movement for me because I was raised in that particular program.
no,
But yeah, I
that's
became
what
a teacher.
I'm feeling is the whole evolution of your background to become who you are today
Yeah.
that made you push past any obstacles that you because you're from Philly. Not saying that
Yeah.
all of Philly go through things, but you came you was chosen for this work. Kind of like you
Absolutely.
said, it was a movement. You was chosen to go down there out of how many students, God knows how many, and put into a program that set your life up for you to become or for you to do the work that you're doing now. If you
Yeah.
will, did you teach in Philly?
Yeah, yeah. I taught kindergarten, first, second. I taught fourth grade as well. So yeah, I was a teacher. I also, once I started the business, I started a basketball program called MES Basketball, where we took kids all the way from the first grade to the eighth grade, and put them in a basketball program where they played AAU nationally. Um, traveled the city, traveled the country playing basketball. But now those kids are now in 12th grade. Once they went to high school, they joined their high school programs and they started to excel there. And now those kids are some of the top guards. We have RJ Smith, who's the point guard of Emotep, who is the MVP of the Philadelphia Championship League. You know,
Congrats.
these are kids that we help raise, and we're very proud of them. Nasir Williams is at Coatesville. Asim Hardy, Ramir Hardy, who's going to Temple University on a Division I scholarship at wide receiver. So the list goes on with MES and what we did with that basketball program. But again, it all started as a teacher and a coach. I was a teacher and a coach. So yeah, it was a great movement, and I still keep in touch with those kids, and am looking forward to this next stage in my life. Continue to manage talent because you know as a teacher and then starting a business, we started with a school readiness program, and that was just for kids and to educate them. These kids that are now in 12th grade were in the first inning. So I kind of built my business around it, and I was honored by the city of Philadelphia with my own resolution, MES Day, and they honor, and the kids came up and they spoke, and man, they were sharp. I felt
Mhm.
like they were even a little bit more prepared than I was at the time, and
That's what I
so
was
it was
go
wonderful.
to. You beat me to it. Share a little bit about that experience. And for me, I like to go to psychological parts of things. How did it feel for you to be represented by the youth that you had taught to come up there and celebrate something that you had created, and for the state of Philadelphia, I mean the city of Philadelphia to represent you for doing so? How did it feel?
It felt great. It felt amazing. It was emotional. I saw from a spiritual level, just knowing those kids for so long, them acknowledging what MES was to them and what I've done for them through the program. I embody mentorship, and really for me, it was about pushing them to the next level athletically, but also from a character standpoint. And I'm just really happy. Like some of them didn't even continue to play basketball. We have George Lane, who is one of the political leaders in Philadelphia, you know. And so we wanted to show a model of not just playing sports, not just being a great student, but also giving back to your community. And I really did stress that. But as we moved on in the journey, we started to hire teachers,
Mm.
and that's when the business was able to expand in terms of me um, recruiting, me and my team recruiting. Deborah Soto, my HR director, uh, just recruiting, and it just felt good. It was Black History Month. Um, Councilman Isaiah Thomas is the leading vote getter and a very good friend of mine. Kenyatta Johnson had some amazing words to say. Um, it was just an amazing feeling. I was very happy, and I'm truly competitive and want to continue to do the work. So the awards and stuff is great, but for me, I'm like more focused on the work that has to be done.
How long ago was this when you actually got awarded?
Uh, I believe that was about a year ago.
Okay.
Maybe 2020. I would say maybe 2022, maybe 2023. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I do have a lot of like I would have to look it up. About a year ago.
So give me a little background on what made you start hiring teachers, because the
Oh,
business.
that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Tell me a
crazy.
little bit about the business, because this is more than just a book. As you said, it's a movement that you've created.
Yeah, it really is a movement. Like it's, I call it entrepreneurship. You know, just running the education service and making money at the same time. I'm not here, talking to you as just a person that is giving back, but I'm also here as a person that is looking to do business with people. I look at the teachers as shrewd business people, and we're working together to cover classrooms, to help people, but also at the same time we want to try to get our teachers like a livable wage, and
Yes.
put a nice amount of money in their pockets too. So we help with the substitute teaching program component, but we also place the full-time teachers. So I'm talking to schools and asking them, what are you missing? What do you need? How can I help you? And so that's one of the important things, my relationships with the schools.
Especially right now, being that there is like a teacher shortage. Um,
Mm,
they talk like, hey, teachers are walking out because of the, I guess you could say, a lot of teachers, from what heard, there's a disrespect from the students, or I guess a lack of teaching at home from the students. So teachers are kind of get fed
it's
up.
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's tough,
but
especially teaching in the city.
yes, but with what you have created, what you do is give the schools something that they may still get that support that teachers are from the teachers that have walked off.
I
You
mean,
coming,
yeah, we're their back line. We're their
yeah,
line of defense. You know what I mean? And I try to place good people, solid people. I have long conversations, not just about we do a great job of onboarding and hiring and vetting and talking to them for a long time, but I try to really hire a lot of people from my network, my personal network in Philadelphia, South Jersey, Camden, Camden as well, and we're moving our services to Atlanta and Los Angeles in the future. Trying to knock those two states, those two cities out this year.
Atlanta
So
and LA.
yeah, hmm
Congrats! I
and
was just
we
about
are
to ask
working
you.
with some daycares.
I was
I'm
just
sorry.
about to ask you, were you planning on getting it like broadband, getting it a little bit of everywhere instead of just Philly? But it sounded like you in New Jersey. You named New Jersey. You also named the two new spots that you about to lock down. So,
Absolutely.
one, congratulations on that,
Thank
because
you.
you could have just stayed citywide in just Philly. But
Yeah,
you see that what you have is, as you said, you're an entrepreneur,
yeah.
not just a
We
former
call it
teacher.
edupreneur
Edu,
because it's in
edupreneur,
education.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And look, you are an edupreneur, one who took education and figured out how to, one, support our teachers. Teachers don't get paid the wages that they should get paid. And you
absolutely.
being one who used to be a teacher, you have a full knowledge and understanding for what y'all take on,
Yeah,
that is not, that you're not getting compensated for
that's right.
the work that y'all put in.
That's right.
And I commend you. I tip my hat to that, because teachers should get paid more than, look, up there with doctors.
Absolutely. And what I can say about Philadelphia, um, Philadelphia, Philadelphia does a great job in comparison to other places and locations with salary. I can say that. I think that's a misnomer that they're not being paid well in Philadelphia, because the charter school networks that I work with, they do a very good job of compensating them. So it's just a matter of getting them in front of the director or principal. And what I do is I make sure I can land them an interview. And so that's the staffing part for the full-time teachers. The day-to-day people, I'm on board and we're on board and we're talking to them daily. We're dispatching them to schools in advance, and also sometimes in the morning. Like I'll get calls in the morning. Marvin, I need 3 people, and so we kind of prepare them to be ready to go. And we try to send the same teachers to the same school. So yeah, it's a component that I didn't expect.
Now
Because
back to
to
the
your
question.
original answer question, how did it
Yeah.
happen? I was subbing myself in a school for myself though. I was working for, I was the first MES teacher. And somebody said, do you have anybody else that you can call? I said, I know a bunch of people. Yeah. And it became two. And then I got another school that was like, hey, can you I heard that you have subs. Can you bring them to our school? I think at the time that was Harambe Charter School. And I said, yes, I can. And so we went on to start working with the more of the charter school networks. We try to aim at charter school networks that's at least two or more schools within a particular network or a school district. But I didn't know that I would be mentoring that generation. That was just a something that ended up happening through Freedom Schools, or I guess just through the years of being in the substitute teaching business. I didn't know that I'd be working with a lot of Gen Z
Mm,
because they. So that what's crazy is I now employ some of my former students.
mm, that's fire.
You're talking about people that I met in the third grade. I have one that I met in kindergarten. So now I've been able to create a whole pipeline all the way from the cradle to the workplace.
That's fire.
I might gotta write that one down.
Yeah, you probably
The
should.
cradle to
Look,
the workplace.
look, lock that down. Look, create your shirt. This part of your brand, man. Look, this about to be branding.
Let's
Look,
go.
no,
Let's go.
you get to take and put this on a shirt and send them into the schools with it on.
And I can have a cradle over on this side and with the workplace with the business suit or the businesswoman.
Look,
Oh, that's cool.
and where do you want to see this go next? Not just from city to city, but what's the vision?
That's a loaded question because is that a question about what's the vision for the MES? Is that a question for what's the vision for me as a business person, or is the question what's the vision in terms of other ventures I want to take on? Because that's kind of like a loaded question.
I got you. We're gonna say MES right now.
MES, the next thing for us is to expand not just into schools nationwide. We want to provide staffing in other industries, so like group homes and uh, old folks homes and anywhere we can provide care.
I love that. Now, being that you brought it up, what about for Marvin himself? What's the vision? Because
Well, I
there's a lot of avenues.
in 2020 I did move to Georgia. Um, so I live in Georgia, Atlanta based now. I run MES online through uh, Zoom and of course I have to visit on sites. But for me as a person, I just want to continue to grow and develop spiritually, and also just as a man, increase my impact. Um, as I said, my grandfather was a singer. I am moving forward with his catalog and his music and also honoring his legacy. So I'm going to
Mm,
be announcing something pretty soon, as it relates to Eugene Bird Daughtry of the Intruders. Some something that I'm working on here in Atlanta that's really big. I can't announce it yet, but that's next up. Of course, I'm a real estate property owner here. Uh, I own property and Airbnbs in Atlanta, so we're just looking to do different things with those particular projects. Um, and I manage talent, not just the teachers, but I do have an artist, Denise Day, who will be dropping her first single, and I also manage a athlete as well. So I just try to the things that I kind of grew up on and try to just implement those during my everyday life. And Nia Morris, she's the player that I'm helping to manage, and we're looking at trying to uh, do some big things with her.
That's fire. Now, to what the main reason why we're here, share a little bit about the book, where they can find it. Just give a little the cards. Share a little bit about this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So the ABC cards you could find these at homeschoolforourchildren.com. That's homeschoolforourchildren.com. Homeschool for Our Children. We released the curriculum in the pandemic when a lot of people were home and really needed help with that remote learning.
Mhm.
And so for us, it was just something to help parents. And still, when you're growing and you're helping a child learn, whether you are the parent, a teacher, these foundational skills are super important. They are super important, and they say 85% of the brain develops before the age of 5. What you think about that?
I know, I know. I like to say I know for a fact. There's nothing that a kid can't learn from birth all the way up to 5 languages. You got to remember, the mind is empty. So because it's empty, what I come to find out, you can feed it everything, and it'll take it in because it's void. It comes in with only the words that it knows. A kid between 0 or between birth and 2.5, it only sit there and listen and take in information. Listen and watch. This is all it's doing. The brain is like a computer. Everything that you are is technically the computer that the computers are actually replicated after. And anything you are uploading, whether it's music, movies, anything, is just taking it in. And between 1 and 5, because it's empty, is upload everything. You can teach a kid different languages, as we already know. Look at kids that live over in a Spanish country. They learn in Spanish. If you can give them Spanish, English, any language off top, Chinese, anything, and they can learn 3, 4 different languages at one time.
That's because they're not distracted by the world yet.
Hmm.
It's almost like, it's important to take things in. It's important to listen sometimes because that's how you learn.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? And so all the parents out there, listen to your students and see what they need. And then try to be that type of parent that really focuses on the education of a child. My kid turns 18 years old, he's in the 12th grade. I surrounded the business around him around the time when he was in kindergarten, I was a kindergarten teacher. So it really made me see how if a kid doesn't get that early learning during that period you just described, when they're a sponge, it could really have an effect on them all the way through. So I think it's definitely important to have these kind of products out. And then the representation. I don't even know if I showed you the ABC Black History flashcards.
Mhm.
Certain places they want to erase our history.
And we look, it's important because our history is American history.
Absolutely. My family has roots to the Underground Railroad.
Mm.
So I'm going to be releasing some content about that called the
Let me
Cambridge
know.
28. I want you, this is some homework, Carlos. I want you to look up the Cambridge 28.
Okay, Cambridge
That was
28.
Harriet's most famous, it was her most famous escape.
Okay.
And I had a
Look,
couple family members on that escape with her. And
and, and
I want to chronicle that story at some point. That's
after we,
that's
oh
that's
wait,
going to be my narrative. I don't have it in front of me, but I have my bio, Tales of a Millennial Entrepreneur. That's at mesmarvin.net.
okay.
mesmarvin.net. I have that, and that kind of details some of the struggles I went through, and also how to start your own educational service up. We have a whole part of the book that's dedicated to helping people start up their own educational company, and that's one thing I really want to do. In addition to helping the teachers get to the next level, we have a teacher that just became uh, a state representative in PA.
So,
State Rep Andre Carroll. He was a
okay.
sub at MES.
So you plan on kind of sort of doing certifications to certify people and hopefully in the future based off making them where they get to do the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fire. So before we leave, I want you to do me a favor. Shout out where they can find all your stuff and find out where they, if they are a teacher, how they can reach out to you. And two, I need a word of wisdom, something from you personally that can set people or inspire people.
Well, I can be reached right there at the business name, Marvin's Education Services. If you look up Marvin's Education Services on Instagram, you'll find me there. On LinkedIn, you'll find me there. MES Marvin on Instagram as well. My phone number is 267 205 0650. 267 205 0650. If you know somebody that is interested in being in education, then I'm able to give you, as the person that's referring a teacher, $100. We do $100 bonuses for referrals, and yeah, I mean, they just contact me that way through Instagram. And we have a link. What we do is we send our link out. You'll have to meet with our HR director. You'll meet with our HR director. And then she's able to, begin a process of seeing if you're the right fit for us. And then I'll tap back in and see what location we can send you to. So that's how you get in touch with the particular position. In terms of a word of wisdom, when spiders unite, they could tie up a lion.
Mhm.
When spiders unite, they could tie up a lion because we're stronger together than apart. You know what I mean? So that's a word from a mentor I met, Baba Kofi. He's an ancestor now. He also gave me when you lose an ancestor, you lose a library.
Literally, literally.
So those are my words of wisdom. I look forward to working with anybody that is looking to be in education, start the educational company. Um, yeah, man, check me out.
Look, I appreciate you for joining me. Um, I thank you for what you do, man. Not just for our community, but for the community at large. Like you said earlier, this ain't just for the black community; it's for all communities.
That's right.
And to the ancestors' words, when spiders unite, they can top a line. This is how we tackle a system that need to be re- retrained how to work itself, because the system ain't broke,
That's
but
right.
it's been broken for a lot of us who are willing or working to do some things for the community at large. So thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you do, and continue to put that work in, man. Look, it's important for the next generation to come up and be just as sharp. So salute. My name is Carlos Walker. This is Art and Hustle, Black Books Matter, and this is Marvin, MES. Peace and blessings.
Peace. Thank you.